I'll give you the following four options: S&P 500, Bitcoin, gold, or bonds. Which of these four will perform the best next year? Which will be worst?
Bitcoin will be the best.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Larry Lepard discuss about Bitcoin. According to Larry Lepard, it seems to be a store of worth of an investment, Larry Lepard, referring to the one that is approaching, which we are all aware of, and which Larry believe is a major player this morning. Larry Lepard say, I was reminded of how I believe there's a reason why gold prices went from the 300s to 1900s when the gold ETF was released. A sizable portion of the investing public would like to possess Bitcoin, and a sizable amount of money is registered in RIA. Managers of financial advisors in the United States are considering, whether it makes sense to have a portion of this, as it has performed well and has a very crisp ratio. They would like to purchase it, but they are unable to purchase a treasure and intend not to put it in the cold, nor do they wish to purchase a Bitcoin because it trades at a discount or prem. It's a different beast. So, Larry say, in my opinion, the things that will spur demand for it are the abundance of money pools that currently cannot be used, lawfully purchase it as it's not officially on the board, and that ETF is anticipated to arrive in the first half of the following year. So Larry Lepard believe that will be a major catalyst for growing it to above 100,000 and lots of things Larry Lepard discuss. So please watch the video to end and share this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
Bitcoin will be the best. It's a little bit of gold will be second best. It's a little bit of a toss up on the bonds and the S&P 500. They're both overvalued, and there are a lot of cross currents. I mean, bonds could catch a bid here as we kind of go into a recession.
Sorry, bonds are still overvalued despite dropping 40-50% over the last 2 years.
Yeah. In my view, we've got a lot of inflation in front of us, and the bond market has not fully absorbed that. But in turn, the stock market has rallied. I mean, it kind of amazes me. We had the bubble burst, in my opinion, in December of 2021. And we've rallied back. I mean, we're within spitting distance of a new all-time high in the S&P 500. And that's kind of amazing to me, given the situation that we have here. And so if I had to guess, I would actually guess stocks might perform worse than bonds in the next year. Because the bonds, I think, have a little bit of a bid from the deflationary slowdown that's coming. But I think in the longer run, I think they are both at risk and don't even come close to comparing with what I consider to be substantial upside in gold and Bitcoin. It's a great question. It's a good point. It's sound money, but it's in the early adoption phase, and most of the world doesn't really know what it is, and so it tends to run hard, and then crash hard, and there's a lot of sound and fury around it. And there was a lot of fraud. And there was a lot of bad stuff going on. I mean, FTX being kind of the poster boy for all of that stuff. And, I actually think, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, and that, in a sense, in my view, because there are 21 million of them and it's limited in supply, it is the soundest money on the planet. I mean, its stock to flow will eventually become infinite because there will be no flow. But it's in an adoption phase, and it's done this repeatedly. It runs hard and then it corrects 80%. And actually, I would say this. Each of those corrections has been slightly less in terms of magnitude. I think the first one was 90%, then 80, then 75, and over time, as the adoption gets to be broader, it gets to be more widely understood, the corrections are not as large. But it does seem to trade, in a very volatile fashion, and but it's been the best performing asset for the last 15 years. I mean, it's crushed stocks, it's crushed gold, it's crushed everything, and I think that's going to continue. To me, it's the most upside, lowest risk asset on the board. And I know that's hard to believe that it's low risk with this potential for a downside crash. But remember, my time frame is 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and so I think we'll continue to repeat these big up, big down swings. I think it's store of value and investment. I mean, the one that's coming that we're all aware of, and I think is a big, big mover. And I was reminded this morning of how, when the gold ETF came out, the price of gold was in the 300s and it went to 1900. I mean, I think there's a big piece of the investing public that would like to own Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of money that's in RIA, registered investment advisor managers in the United States, and they're thinking, hey, it makes some sense to have an allocation of this. It's been a good performer, and its Sharpe ratio is good, and so they would like to buy it, but they can't. They're not going to go buy a Trezor and cold store it, and they don't want to buy a GBTC because it trades at a discount or premium. It's a different animal. And so to me, one of the things that's going to ignite demand for it is when all these pools of money that are out there that right now can't legally buy it because it's not on the board, so to speak, are able to legally buy it. And that ETF is expected to come in the first half of next year. So I think that will be a big catalyst to taking it to 100,000 plus. And, it's at, 36 or 7 now, but, and then, much higher longer term. But, to me, it's a store of value asset. Now, the Lightning Network is coming along and making transactions very cheap and very easy to use. But, that's just early days. I mean, to me, the Bitcoin, I was an investor in the .com stuff back in the day. And to me, and I got in 93, I started buying internet stocks, right? And that worked out well because, they went crazy until 2000. And, to me, the Bitcoin's kind of a similar thing. And I don't know, maybe we're kind of at the 1999 level or 98 level on Bitcoin. I mean, it's like, it's got a long way to go. I mean, in the early days of the internet, it was very hard to use. You had a dial-up phone, you had AOL, you had, all that stuff. And, right now, Bitcoin is hard to use for payments. You need a Lightning wallet. You need somebody who's going to accept Lightning. And except for in these small Bitcoin havens like El Salvador, that doesn't exist. So it's going to take time for that to exist, but it'll come.
According to Larry Lepard, the supply of Bitcoin is mathematically established, and the ASM is essentially falling towards zero. Therefore, while supply won't alter, prices are free to move wherever they like. This is significantly different. That is truly fantastic. We've never seen anything like that before. In fact, Larry Lepard believed that many people are unaware of precisely how significant and unique this group of people invented Bitcoin, which is a digital music composition. Money was copyable before Bitcoin existed. You could copy anything digital in the world. Everything is digital, so you could just make 1,000 copies for free. You could copy files, music, videos, or anything else. One of the advantages of a digital system was that, and as you may know, other people were attempting to develop digital money has always existed on computers. However, nobody has ever solved the issue of how to use it, could never figure out how to stop spending twice. No one was ever able to resolve the issue of variability. You do realize that there was never an unchangeable path method gauging the availability and stopping individuals from lying consequently. They developed Bitcoin and deviating from the money shot 256. And you are aware of the when a man was unexpectedly traveling in a hot air balloon. And when you think of it that way, there was no digital scarcity prior to the invention of Bitcoin. And we now know that money for money to be valuable, it has to be in short supply. That's why gold was the best form of money prior to Bitcoin. Let's back to the Larry Lepard interview.
There's a fixed amount, or not a fixed amount, but there's an above ground amount. It grows very slowly, 1.5%, per year. And to find gold is hard and expensive and takes time. So, and it's all the same. It's one block of gold. I mean, different grades, but if you've got 24 karat gold, you got 24 karat gold. And you can recast it, so on and so forth. And so gold was the best form of savings money in the world, pre-Bitcoin coming along. And Bitcoin really just figured out a way to create a digital form of gold. And arguably it's even better because, every 40 years the supply of gold doubles on the world because you take the 1.5 and compound it. Whereas, the supply of Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million. Now, it's going to take a little time to get there, but we're at 19 now, so there's not that much left.
Larry Lepard believed that each of those scenarios are possible, but they are definitely distinct and well executed. Things will eventually separate Bitcoin from the Nasdaq, Larry Lepard say, in my opinion. I'm not sure what the Nasdaq will do in the upcoming year. The Nasdaq will rise during a massive boom, and Bitcoin will rise even more for this reason. Larry Lepard believed that Bitcoin is the best performing asset, is one that has two factors working in its favor. First, monetary debasement taking place. We discussed it previously, correct? We believe the government is stuck in a never-ending cycle of money printing in order to maintain the system's functionality. Hence, you must start with those fundamental ideas, since they will raise everything else. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance, and we will meet in next video. Thanks.